Hello, this is Kelly Odell, Axxess HomeCare Product Specialist. We will be reviewing Axxess HomeCare OASIS functionality, transmission, and exporting. In order to complete an OASIS within Axxess HomeCare, agencies will need to go to the Client Center, select the client that they would like to schedule a Start of Care OASIS, go to Schedule Activity. Once you're in the Schedule Center, go to the date you would like to schedule the OASIS Start of Care. Click on the shift length, select the time that you would like to schedule the Start of Care, select your payment source, and select the OASIS Start of Care. Assign it to the appropriate clinician and save and close. There are times that you will receive warnings. In this case, we have received a warning for an authorization, as an authorization could not be found for this task because it is outside of the range of the authorization or on a day of the week that is not allowed. If under Managed Company Information, your agency has decided to have this set up to receive the warning but allowed to schedule anyways, you will receive this warning, giving you the option to create anyways. You now see on the schedule, my OASIS-C2 Start of Care is scheduled. However, I do have a red box around my OASIS-C2 showing me that I do have this scheduled, but it is without an authorization, so I should be able to receive that authorization and put that in prior to billing this document. In order to document on my OASIS-C2 Start of Care, I simply hover over the scheduled task. It will pull up a bar. First item on my bar is Edit Document. Simply click on that document and it will bring up your OASIS-C2 Start of Care, providing you the ability to document throughout the note of the OASIS-C2. Your first page is your demographics. Items from intake will populate on the C2 Start of Care. If you have any questions on what any of the items are, simply click on the Mu items or the question mark, and this will give you the item intent, the response, and the data sources. You can either hit Save and Continue. If you hit Save and Continue, this does save the information and take you down to the next tab. If you choose to go to different tabs, you can hit Save, and that saves the items on the page you are working on, and you can skip around to the other tabs. Next is History and Diagnosis. The items that are in the gray areas are your 485 locators, so when you complete the document of your Start of Care, it does automatically generate a 485. You do have the ability to put in your immunizations, which is part of the value-based purchasing item as well. And these immunization items do flow over to the quick reports as well as the allergies. Agencies can choose and clinicians can choose to utilize putting in the diagnosis code on the OASIS Start of Care, or if they choose, they can put it in under the clients themselves, under the Edit tab, and under the Medical Information tab, where they can add the admission diagnosis and any additional diagnosis codes to where they can add as many diagnoses as they choose. We do have an ICD-10 lookup, so agencies can put in any diagnosis codes. Hit the Search tab, giving you the ability to drill down into the appropriate diagnosis code. It will then populate the diagnosis code. Once the agency has and the clinician has the diagnosis codes populated, they can sign the diagnosis codes, and it will tell you the diagnosis snapshot was signed successfully. You can also view a snapshot history. One of the things you want to make sure is that the effective date of your diagnosis snapshot history, in order to pull over to your Start of Care, is the same date as your Start of Care date. So this effective date must be the same date as your Start of Care if you want those diagnosis codes to flow over into your Start of Care. If you hit the plus bar, this will show you the diagnosis codes that are going to flow in to your Start of Care. So agencies can utilize the Edit tab and the Medical Information tab to have their diagnosis codes flow over from there, or you can utilize the actual diagnosis code within the Start of Care, and once the note is approved from QA, it will populate the snapshot history from that point. Save and Continue does take you to the next tab, to your Risk Assessment tab. In each section, you do have your interventions and your goals, which does flow over to your 485. Your prognosis and advanced directives, supportive assistance, and social service screenings. Along with your safety measures, emergency triage code, homebound status, your interventions, and your goals. Sensory status, pain, interventions and goals for pain, your Braden scale for your integumentary status, you do have the ability to have the wound graft built into the OASIS, where you can add wounds as well as pictures of wounds. Now, as you go through your OASIS-C2 in all of these areas, you will see the same items that are available: therapy, need, and plan of care, and then your discipline and treatment. Once you get down to the discipline and treatment, which is the last section of your OASIS start of care, you'll see your discharge plans, your narrative, skilled intervention and teaching. In any of these areas that you see load template, this is a customizable area of the system where you can add your own templates. We do give you a running list to choose from, but you can add your own customizable template forms within here to pull in. If you want to select those, it will pull all of that information in. And at the end, you have to save and check for errors. If you have any errors that are a fatal error, it will not let you continue. It will take you back, if you hit the red X, to that error in order to complete it. We do have as well an OASIS scrubber for you to view any logical and clinical inconsistencies within the note. And once that note is completed and you have checked it against those logical and clinical inconsistencies, it will create the 485 plan of care. Once everything has been approved, we do have the availability to transfer the OASIS under your OASIS management. For any OASISes that are ready for export, simply go to the View tab, OASIS Management, and OASIS Ready for Export. Any of your OASIS that are ready for export will be listed here. You can click on any of the OASIS that are ready for export simply by clicking on the box to the left of the client's name. Once they are ready to go, you will generate your OASIS file. This will create a zip file of those OASIS to which you will upload to your state portal. Once you receive a response, you can then mark those OASIS by coming back again to View, OASIS Management, OASIS Ready for Export, which will be this exact same window. You can select those items that you sent and mark them as exported. It will ask you, are you sure that this OASIS file has been accepted by CMS? Please verify your OASIS submission was accepted before you complete this step. If it was not accepted, do not mark this as exported. If it was accepted, you can mark yes, and the status of your OASIS will change within the Client Center over here to the right. Right now, this one right here says saved, but when it's completed and you have marked that as exported, the status will change to completed and exported. Next, under View, OASIS Management, you have the option to view any of your exported OASIS. So any of those OASISes that have been exported, you can see the assessment date, the care period, the date you exported it, and the payment source. You can generate a cancel, and you can also reopen the OASIS from this area. The last item under OASIS Management is any of your non-exported OASIS. If you have any OASIS that have not been exported and do not require exporting, they will be available here. In those cases, if we go back to View and OASIS Management and OASIS Ready for Export, you do have the availability, as you can see. For example, Juanita Abrams, if we need to click her and she's a research or generally a start of care, however it works, and she does not need to be submitted to the state, we can click beside her name and mark her as completed but not exported. It will ask you, are you sure you want to mark it as completed without export? And we can say yes. And then if we go to OASIS Management and not exported OASIS, she will then be available in our OASIS that have not been exported but are completed. It does give us the ability to reopen from here as well. This has completed our OASIS review training as well as our OASIS export training in Axxess HomeCare.